Welcome. My name is Elena Brower. I am here with my dear business partner and colleague and dear friend, Christine Russell. Welcome, Christine.
Hello.
Yes, we are here to talk about essential oils for your nervous system. These are plant compounds that are going to be crucial in interactions with the cells in your brain to actually change your mood. Why are we doing this? This is because so many of us are working through very serious mood situations. We need support for our moods that is natural, and we have the tools in front of us. We're going to talk about 5 different blends today, 5 different oils and blends today. We're going to start with Copaiba. We're going to move over to Cardamom. We're going to talk about balance, a blend, ADAPTIV, another blend, and lavender. We're going to be as quick and as succinct as possible. Christine, when we talk about Copaiba, we are talking about a resin. And this resin comes from a very, very tall tree, very majestic tree that grows in the Amazon. This particular resin has been indicated in interactions in the very same way that CBD acts on your endocannabinoid receptors. The resin of Copaiba interacts with the very same cell structures. We're interested in this because just a few drops of Copaiba under your tongue, and there's a palpable shift, at least for me, in my mood, any anxious feelings that I was having. I keep it very close by on my desk. And I keep it also near my bed, because at bedtime, this is a really nice way to sort of mitigate any sort of lifted, elevated, heightened feelings before bed.
And conversely in the morning too. If someone's prone to morning anxious feelings, which I find quite common, including myself in that, to have that little support first thing in the morning. Excellent.
And this particular resin is coming from trees in the Brazilian Amazon. These are all trees that are owned by tribal right. And the beauty and most of why I work with doTERRA is that we have relations with these folks on the ground, and we are supporting smallholder farmers in earning great money, in earning their money on time, being paid on time and super fairly for their work. So it's important to note that if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, essential oils, aren't they bad for the environment? Isn't it so bad for the earth? In fact, we are working with a company that has made it their business to do the exact opposite, to only work with smallholder farmers, to support them, their families, their villages, and all of the structures in those villages to thrive. So,
and when we teach cardamom, we're going to share a video with you.
Let's move on to cardamom on that. Cardamom is what I reach for when I'm having trouble digesting a situation. It's known for its digestive capacity, both emotionally and physiologically. If you haven't ever smelled cardamom, it's one of the most bright and also has a sharpness to it that I really appreciate. Emotionally, it's the oil of objectivity. So when you're having trouble making a choice, you're having trouble seeing through the morass of someone else's choices, cardamom is what you reach for. You can apply it diluted on your belly. You can use it in your diffuser. Often I will put it into a cacao or a chai tea. It is coming from Guatemala. And it just so happens that Christine and her sister Emily were on a sourcing trip, of which I've been on several, to Guatemala to help with the cardamom harvest. So we'd love to show you this video.
Can you just enable my sharing?
Of course. Let's do that. There you are.
Okay, one moment.
It's one of my favorites, this one.
Okay.
Yesterday, we had the opportunity to travel to Chiacach community, which was an unbelievable experience. We arrived in the morning and we've had the opportunity to split off into groups and really connect with an actual class of children in the school in the Sica Bay community. And one of the most amazing parts was just seeing the parents' joy and the parents' love of their children as they watched their children playing North American games that we brought with us. We just got to experience the processing of cardamom. So last night, a few of us came down and we climbed in and we shoveled and bagged it all, and it was a taxing experience process. One thing I really took away was that it really is a craft. So they have thermometers and they have their systems, but these guys that have been doing it for so long, it's an art. Instead of checking the thermometers, they reach in with their hand and they can tell to the degree if that dryer needs another log in the fire or not. Or they crumble it in their hands, they smell it, and they can tell if it was ready. It really is a labor of love for these guys, and I'm honored to have been a part of the process.
So whether it was knee injuries or back injuries, some of them were like really, really old injuries that we were able to help with a combination of chiropractic adjustments and stretches and physical therapy and the aroma touch.
It's an incredible feeling to be able to give back in that capacity and to see the smiles on their faces for the first time that they've received self-care.
It was really a wonderful opportunity for me to give back and just give them some simple exercises, simple stretches that they could do and take home and continue on after working with my healthcare partners here.
Some really precious testimonials during lunch where they were sharing already how they felt better and they didn't realize that this was possible.
We're here at our project, which is building this workshop. This building specifically is a new wood shop where they'll be making furniture and teaching their students here at the center to make furniture and to do woodworking.
Yo me presento mi persona como aquí nos graduamos de albañil. Gracias al apoyo de ustedes, si Dios nos va a dar la bendición y si vamos a estar aquí todo el fin de año, vamos a cambiar nuestra vida.
Para nosotros, doTERRA, y nos ha ayudado muchísimo, bastante. ¿Por qué? Ellos nos han dado, digamos, la oportunidad de capacitar más a las gentes de áreas rurales y nos han ayudado, digamos, tener, digamos, beneficio de secadoras de cardamomo.
Mira, ya hemos podido ver el progreso. Vemos a los productores que han mejorado sus plantaciones. Ellos también han mejorado la calidad del producto que cosechan.
It was really powerful in that, on that trip, the gentleman who was just shown in the plantations, he shared that what doTERRA had done too was taught them how to grow cardamom.
The doTERRA Healing Hands Foundation brings healing and hope to.
And what that did was gave the plantations more fortified cardamom plants. So previously they were planting the seeds in the ground, but they learned how to create a seedling and then plant the seedling, which produced better cardamom for them to sell and to use for the essential oil. So there's a beautiful string of education and support woven through the whole process.
It's incredible. If you're watching this and you're curious, there are more of those sourcing videos on a website called Source to You, SOURCETOYOU. Source to You is a place where you can learn about all of the plants or many of the plants that doTERRA grows in all of the regions in which the plants thrive the most. We'll move on to the Balance Blend. Balance Blend is one of the very first oils that I tried. The base of Balance is black spruce, and black spruce is one of the tree oils that brings to us a feeling of an emotional quality of grounding, of resilience, even of awe. When you think about walking through a forest, receiving all of the plant compounds that are invariably being blown about in the air on the breeze, feeling the way in which you are dwarfed by the trees, there is a sensation. Black spruce is grown in northern Canada, northwestern Canada, actually. Northeast, thank you so much. And the plant where it's distilled and made is a plant in which everything is a closed loop. So the energy that is generated becomes the energy for another part of the system of the plant. Also worth noting that black spruce is only coming from fallen trees. That's a very interesting and important practice that also goes for our sandalwood in the reforestation project that we've just done in Hawaii. Those trees will be matured in something like 25, 30 years. I personally planted one. Black spruce is a beauty because as the base of balance, it is also something that can bring you to literally a feeling of balance within yourself. Apply it to the soles of your feet and you'll find a sense of quiet within your body. I usually take it on my hands, put it on the sides of my neck, the back of my neck, and then take a huge inhalation. Christine, I know you use this every morning. Is that true?
Yeah, soles of my feet. So Balance is actually pre-diluted. So it makes it really simple. They've already added some coconut oil. So I keep one bedside beside the Copaiba, and I'll do a couple of drops in my palm, rub the palm together, just give myself a little bit of a foot massage. And then I usually rub the back of my neck. If there's any small people in my bed or around me, I'll do the same for them. And it's just a really grounding way to start the day.
Small people.
Small people.
The next
it's actually a very great, it's a, for moms and dads, it's a beautiful blend for children. It's one that we use a lot of in the house on our kids.
And again, it's pre-diluted.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of the oils are, but this one particularly is, which means it's safe to use on kids.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we'll talk about ADAPTIV. ADAPTIV is a very, very important blend. It's a fairly new innovation that doTERRA has launched within the last 3 years. The staggering number of folks who are right now on prescription medication to mitigate anxious feelings, moods, mood swings is notable. As you know, if you're watching this, you might even be on it. We do not look down on that at all. We actually really support the use of those medications. I personally know many people who are using them with great success. What ADAPTIV does, it begins to offer support to those folks who are on those meds, who are considering being on those meds, or who are in some low-grade subcutaneous way working through anxious feelings. ADAPTIV has a couple of compounds in it that are really important to check out and perhaps even study for yourself. One is GABA. The other is scaletium. Both are indicated in calming the part of your brain that goes into the instinctive fight, flight, freeze, or fawn mode. And to have something that is natural, that is plant-based, that you can just put it in a diffuser or simply inhale from the bottle. We have also a roller that you can apply topically to your body that's diluted. To have something like that is such an important ally in these times. whether you are on or not those medications, ADAPTIV is a wonderful tool for you. Anything
I
else?
began using it postpartum, and I put a few drops in the diffuser and would have it bedside in the bedroom with baby and I. That was our exclusive blend for the first 6 to 8 months. And also postpartum, I used it on the crown of my head. So I would actually just take a drop right from the bottle and place it right up here, 6th chakra, for support. And yes, your hair might get a tad greasy, and it's worth every drop. Feeling it, seep into the skull and just imagining the support that the plants are bringing you. And while we're talking about ADAPTIV, the calming blend, I wanted to share an article that we found that supports the science behind essential oils for mood management. We found this on NIH.gov. It's called The Therapeutic Effect and Mechanisms of Essential Oils in Mood Disorders, the Interaction Between the Nervous and Respiratory Systems. I'm just going to read a few lines to give context for the science and how the essential oils affect the brain. Essential oils are extracted from plants and contain active components with therapeutic effects. Evidence shows that various types of EOs, essential oils, have a wide range of health benefits. In our previous studies, the potential of lavender EO for prevention and even treatment of depression and anxiety symptoms was demonstrated. The favorable outcomes may be due to multiple mechanisms, including the regulation of monoamine level, the induction of neurotrophic factor expression, the regulation of the endocrine system, and the promotion of neurogenesis. The molecules of EOs may reach the brain and exert an effect through two distinctive pathways, namely the olfactory system, so through the nose, and the respiratory system, the lungs. After inhalation, the molecules of the EOs would either act directly on the olfactory mucosa or pass into the respiratory tract. These two delivery pathways suggest different underlying mechanisms of action. Different sets of responses would be triggered, such as increased neurogenesis, regulation of hormonal level, activation of different brain regions, and alteration in blood chemistry, which ultimately affect both mood and emotion.
First of all, thank you for reading that. Thank you for finding that. But second of all, neurogenesis is the process by which your brain regenerates synaptic connections, neurons. This is no small thing. To look around at the friends and colleagues who use essential oils on a consistent basis, to see that for the most part, they're pretty contented humans. What matters is that you're using your oils consistently. It doesn't matter how much you use. In fact, less is generally more with regards to essential oil usage. And that'll be a topic for another video. But the consistent use is actually what keeps that process going in your brain, the process of neurogenesis that enables your brain to make new connections, to have different emotions, to create new experiences neurologically. And that's why, for me, that's why I'm so passionate about this particular topic. And that's why we've taken the time to create this particular video. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The last oil that we'll talk about, it does make a difference for sure. The last oil that we'll talk about is lavender. And as typical as it is, as familiar as it may be to you, lavender has high concentrations of a compound called linalool. Linalool is scientifically proven to calm your nervous system and bring your parasympathetic nervous system online, to calm the part of your nervous system, the sympathetic aspect that runs fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and to bring that calming, more serene, more present part of your brain and chemistry back online. Lavender is one that I use every single night on the soles of my feet. I take a little bit of body butter. doTERRA's carrot seed body butter is incredible. Put a little bit of that on the sole of my foot, a drop of lavender, drop of bergamot, drop of vetiver, drop of balance. At the moment I ran out of balance, so I have black spruce next to my bed. These are tiny little practices. They take but 30 seconds that make a huge difference in the quality of my sleep. Christine, anything to add to that?
I would just add, if you don't like lavender, I would implore you to try doTERRA's lavender. I was a non-lavender user, and when I first smelled the lavender that doesn't have any synthetic compounds in it, it's pure tested grade lavender from Bulgaria, I had a very different experience. You can really enjoy this. I enjoy it in the diffuser, on my dryer balls, in my laundry, on soles of my feet also. And I'm just going to indulge you in a very lovely brief practice as we close. If you do have some lavender, just take a little bit on your pinky. And we're going to place it in a Chinese medicine acupoint called the Shen Men, or the Heavenly Gate, just in the earlobe right here, ever so gently.
And even if you don't have lavender, to put your fingers there, will actually calm your body as well. It's called ear Shen Men, SHENMEN. Just take a couple of breaths. Every time.
Every time.
Thank you.
You can bring your fingertips just under your nose and take a nice inhalation if you have the lavender.
Thank you so much. Really a pleasure, always, Christine, to teach with you. Thank you for this. Thank you for your time. To you, if you're watching, thank you so much. If you would like to get in touch, if you would like to ask more questions of us, either one of us, please feel free to reach out. info@elenabrower.com. You can put in the subject line if this is for Christine, and I will forward it along to her. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
Lots of love.